Here's part 2, 6th graders, actually part 2 and part 3, which has to do with your estimate of the miles and then the actual miles on the map app. So for example, Mankato, we marked to be approximately 70 miles, all right? But if you actually follow the road of Mankato, from Minneapolis to Mankato, you'll see that it curves quite a bit. So here's Minneapolis, and then here's the route that it would take. It's not a straight line. So do you think that it would be shorter or longer if it's a curvy route? Well, it actually would be longer. So what I want you to do is come up with a way to estimate how far would the drive be from Minneapolis to Mankato. So probably it's going to be more. So how much more? Well, we estimated 70. To give you a little perspective, if you go to your map app in Schoology, or sorry, on your iPad, hit the Maps app. All right, and I already did that. Select your location arrow, and now it has me in Maple Grove. So we're talking about Mankato. So you go to the search bar, type in Mankato, so Mankato, Minnesota, and then it's going to find directions from where we are right now in Maple Grove, and then here's the route. But we're going to change our location. So I'm going to change my location to Minneapolis. So I'm going to delete the part where it says my location, type in Minneapolis, select it, find route. All right, so it's going to give you a number of routes. This one says 82 miles, 82 miles, 82 miles. So basically, depending on which way you want to go, they're all 82 miles, but slightly different time periods. What was our estimate? This says 82 miles. Our estimate was 70 miles. So the actual distance would be 82 by road. What I want you to do as you are, now that you've made your measurements in the straight line miles, is I want you to estimate what do you think the road trip would be in miles. So something I've noticed is that, I don't know, maybe a shorter distance under 100 miles from Minneapolis probably need to add on 10 or 20 miles if it's for a road trip, maybe 40 miles if it is something that is across the whole state of Minnesota. So let's practice that. So this was actually 82. Let's say I estimated, 80. Let's try Rochester. So Rochester was 75, and as we look at Rochester, here might be the path that you would take. It definitely has some curves. We estimated that it would be 75 miles. Let's change our route now. Hit the X. So let's look for Rochester, Minnesota. Directions. And I have it right now, my location, so I'm going to change that again to Minneapolis. Route. All right, so now this is showing up as 87 miles and 88 miles, but my estimate was 75. So let's just say 87 miles. So here it's a difference of about 12 extra miles by the road. So again, I would say this would be a shorter trip. When you make your estimates for the rest of your cities, consider adding on an extra 10, 20, maybe even 40 miles for your estimate column. Okay, so now we would do Austin. So let's say Austin is, let's see, it's from here to there. It was 90 miles. Let's say it's actually maybe 100 miles would be my estimate. Type that in. Start over, Austin, Minnesota. Directions, here you come. Change from my location and change that from Minneapolis. Hit route. Oh, darn it. Come on. Austin, directions from Minneapolis. route. All right, looks like it's 104, 101, 114. So let's just say 101 is the actual. So see how I was actually kind of close. I estimated 100. It's 101. So now that you guys are coming in, now that you've finished finding your straight line miles, I would like you to estimate how many miles it actually is by road, and then use your map app to find the total miles. All right, I will see you in a couple minutes here.